Hi there. Welcome to the Juice Galaxy 0.1.20 Devlog speedrun by Fishlicka. First order of business is we have this new ball and chain weapon. It's the first ragdoll type weapon. It's a ragdoll much like the player or a monster is. And I'm really excited because now that we have this logic for multi-part weapons, I'm planning on going pretty crazy and adding like nunchucks, scissors, polywog on a stick, polywog helmet, because wearable items have the same logic now. Yeah, and this item itself is really dope. It's great for fighting giant monsters, and it does tons of damage, which is why it's pretty rare. It has 1/6 of the spawn rate of other items, so yeah. Next favorite item is the arc fork, which generates electrical arcs between things when you bonk them. This is the new electricity system that I'm a little bit proud of. It needs more work, like when the particles intersect the ground, there's this ugly seam. You would fix that by sampling the depth texture and then taking the difference between the world space of the... Yeah, I'll do that later. It's good enough for now. There's also this new spell Arc that does the same thing, using the same logic. It does a lot of damage really fast to a lot of people, but it also consumes your energy bar really fast, so you won't be able to just cheese bosses with it. And both of these items also have to be dropped by monsters. There's nowhere in the world yet that they can be found, and they're OP, so that's a good thing. I forgot to do my splits, as always. The Biome Textures have been updated for the 3rd or 4th consecutive update. The UVs are wavy now, so things like the brick texture look a lot more organic. And we now have texture blending between biomes, so I can define a texture, a hue, saturation, and value for that texture. And then I can say, hey, when you're heading to a hotter area, blend to this texture, which itself has 4 different textures encoded inside of it. And in this case, it's 2 different sand textures and a new cliff texture that looks like a dinosaur. We also have a cold biome. No time to show it. Monsters now have a wandering AI, where if they are far enough away from you, they wander around and mind their own business. They have places to be, like this Hell Grazer way out here is just spinning around in circles. He's clearly busy. This made melee combat in the overworld a lot more fun because you get to just focus on 1 or 2 monsters. Yeah. We have this new monster here called the Hell Grazer. It's like a iguana cow, and the idea is it wanders hellish landscapes like this evil hot biome, and it eats corpses, but I have disabled that logic for now. So it just wanders around right now. I've changed the juice drinking audio to be higher pitch and also quieter. And if you're drinking from a corpse that has tons of juice, it'll be lower pitch. It scales with the amount of juice that you're drinking. Grappling plunger physics are now a lot more realistic. You dangle from the grappling plunger a lot better. You didn't dangle at all in prior updates. And grappling plunger strength now scales with level. This is a level 10 grappling plunger, and this is a level 9000 grappling plunger. That is also buffing my flight, so I'm flying crazy fast. The mace can't even handle it, or the ball and chain, I mean. Back to normal. There's also this level 0 grappling plunger that spawns in the old man's saloon. if you're starting like a new save, it's useful. You can just come here and grab it and grab the pineapple and cheese your way through the game. Ambient occlusion has been improved. It now blends more colorfully. You can see the shadow underneath me. Instead of just making things darker and washing them out, it increases the saturation as well. So yeah, it just looks more colorful. I also fixed it in the toilet realm, so it's enabled there. And I improved how it looks on objects in the distance. Like as I approach this seam here, you'll see that the radius decreases. That's the change that I made, and it's so that objects in the distance have more apparent and less noisy ambient occlusion applied to them. Yeah. Miscellaneous tweaks and fixes. Well, first of all, I made it so that the old man gives you the proper directions when you ask him where Hogan is. You go that way past the super ripped guy. He was telling you to go past the polywog fog giant, which was wasting a lot of people's time, I imagine. So I fixed that. I also made it so that items apply less force to the player's body. If I put on some items that have heavy mass and I fly around really fast, you can see items still stretch your arms while you fly, but it's about 1/6 as much as it did in the last update. And you can like swing your weapons as much as you want and your arm won't stretch too much. And yeah, it's just less annoying that way. I will allow you guys to make your player extra stretchy using potions or perks or something like that in the future. Because it's nice having that option, but by default you don't stretch too much. The items are still just as heavy as they were, they just tug on the player less. So when you bonk things, they still follow through and bonk things just as hard. I also fixed the save file loader to make it a lot more robust. If you have a corrupted save file, it will now recognize that and just ignore it instead of crashing your main menu and preventing you from playing at all. Plans and experiments. I've been doing a lot of stuff for the last couple months, experimenting with a lot of things, adding clouds to the sky, village generation, inventory stuff, like the right-click menu, usable items and stuff like that. Yeah, I only wanted to touch on those because I'm trying to keep this video short. So I'll call it here. I hope everybody enjoys the update, and thank you all for being so patient waiting for it, because I know it took a long time. And I'll try to make the next update smaller and come out a lot faster. Yeah, I'll catch everybody next time. Bye.